إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله
لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله
لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله
لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله
صلاة الواحد الغفار على زين الملا المختار
لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله
صلاة أظهرت أنوار وأبدى ذكروها الأسرار
لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله
فعب الرمل والغطر وشعر الخلق والأمطار
لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله
شعون
The Hindiyya Sufi order.
ساتع الأنوار
In Sudan, politics always takes center stage in the nation's events and scene.
مدى الأفكار
Considering that the real actors in Sudanese society dating back to the emergence of the French Sultanate in 1405 were families with their prominent religious, spiritual and social figures.
تسمع مني
The religious, spiritual and social contributions are presented in a shyly manner and with little care and concern. Families that played such a significant and wonderful role are neglected in spite of their great presence. One of the most illustrious and well-known of these families is the Hindi family, who are credited with the dissemination of the Holy Quran during French Sultanate. However, the spread of the Holy Quran with its sciences have been a credit that counted in favor of that great and ancient family. However, the first strong personality that have emerged from this family is the Sharif Muhammad al-Amin al-Hindi. And to Sharif Muhammad al-Amin al-Hindi, by the way, is the credit of the dissemination of the Holy Quran across the country since French Sultanate. And later, a contribution in terms of spiritual and religious dissemination of spiritual guidance, in addition to the dissemination of the prophetic excellent manner through the poetic forms, have been produced by the founder and the son of Sharif Muhammad al-Amin al-Hindi. I'm referring here to Sharif Yusuf al-Hindi, the founder of the Hindiyya Sufi order. One of the primary characteristics of the Hindiyya Sufi order is that it traces its very birth and establishment to the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessing be upon him. Its writings, particularly the poetry written by its founder, Sharif Yusuf al-Hindi, highlight the influence of the new Sufi movement. As a continuation of presenting and introducing Sudanese Sufism, including the major turuq, the contribution of Tasawwuf, socially, religiously and spiritually, it gives me great pleasure, dear viewers, presenting to you and having this session providing the presentation and introduction to one of significant and influential Sufi order. I'm referring here to Hindiyya Sufi order. However, the founders' family and lineage, in addition to the contributions that have been led by its pioneers throughout history since the establishment of the Tariqa, will be the focus of our presentation today. However, this is just a brief biography about the founder of the Tariqa, Sharif Yusuf al-Hindi. Sharif Yusuf al-Hindi, 1869-1942. His full name is Sharif Yusuf ibn Sharif Muhammad al-Amin Sharif Yusuf ibn Sharif Ahmed, who lineage ends with Imam al-Hussein, the grandson of the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessing be upon him. His father Sharif Muhammad al-Hindi, who was born in 1817 and passed away in 1883, was a teacher of the Quran to many Sudanese Sufis and their followers, as he was the first to introduce the science of Tajweed, the Quranic recitation rules, to Sudan. And as Sharif Zain al-Abdin al-Hindi, the grandson of the founder, Sharif Muhammad al-Amin al-Hindi, one told, "In this country we are people of the Quran and religious schools. Our fathers and grandfathers are present, and its fire remains burning to this day throughout Sudan. So what it should be stated here is that Sharif Yusuf al-Hindi is descendant of the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessing upon him, through his grandson Sharif Hussein. And what it should be emphasis in this particular context is that Sharif Muhammad al-Amin al-Hindi is the first Sudanese to introduce the science of Tajweed, and in this regard he is the first teacher in this regard. I mean, here I'm referring here to the science of Tajweed. So the science of Tajweed, by the way, accompanied the dissemination and the spread of the Holy Quran led by Sharif Muhammad al-Amin al-Hindi himself. And in this regard also I would like to tell that the efforts that have been led by Sharif Muhammad al-Amin al-Hindi in the dissemination of the Holy Quran had been started since Funj Sultanate and beyond. His Quranic schools, Khalawis, had spread out into the villages, starting from Sururab, west of Umdurman, going to Sharif Yaqub near Hantub and Nuwara on the Rahat River, in addition to some other areas. His methods of teaching of the Quran is famous with Quran with al-Hindi, referring here to Sharif Muhammad al-Amin al-Hindi, of which the tens of thousands had read and memorized. The disciples and students of Sharif Muhammad al-Amin al-Hindi were spread across the country, from Nuwara and Sharif Yaqub to the borders of Abyssinia, reaching the western regions of Sudan in Kordofan, where the religious schools of Sharif Muhammad al-Amin are located in the city of Al-Rahad. For more information in this particular area, I'm referring you to the book of Professor Ibrahim al-Qurashi entitled Sharif Muhammad al-Amin al-Hindi, Qutb al-Quran wa Khatimat al-Muhaqqiqin, published 2005. The biography of both Imam Mahdi and Sharif Muhammad al-Amin al-Mahdi had pointed to the strong relationship between the two, and it had been stated that Imam al-Mahdi had visited Sharif Muhammad al-Amin al-Hindi in Wara, where the center of his Quranic school, and the Imam admired Sharif al-Hindi for his knowledge, piety and devotion. When Imam al-Mahdi began his march towards Khartoum, he summoned Sharif Muhammad al-Amin to accompany him on his journey. On his journey from the west to conquer the capital Khartoum, during the rule of Governor Gordon. Sharif Muhammad al-Amin responded to the call and met with the Imam in the city of Rahad in Western Sudan. However, they did not allow him to continue the journey with Imam al-Mahdi to the conquest of Khartoum. So he passed away in Rahad. Imam al-Mahdi led his funeral prayer and buried him in the shrine that bears his name in that region. So this is just a glimpse of the biography of Sharif Muhammad al-Amin al-Hindi, the father of our present figure, Sharif Yusuf al-Hindi. So what I would like here to make up is that Sharif Muhammad al-Amin al-Hindi is a prominent, one of the earliest Sudanese to establish Quranic halawis for the dissemination of the Holy Quran and its sciences. Sharif Yusuf al-Hindi mother is Sayyida Shamoom bint al-Arbab Ahmad wad-Dazain, a native of the Sururab region. So from his father's side, he descended from the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessing upon him, grandson Imam al-Hussein, while his mother is Sayyida Shamoom bint al-Arbab Ahmad wad-Dazain, a native from Sururab area. And we go further and told that Sharif Yusuf al-Hindi was born in 1869 and raised up in the village of Sharif Yaqub in central Sudan. He has been attached to the nickname al-Hindi from his sixth nursing grandmother. When came to Mecca, she was an Indian in origin. She was an Indian in origin. Throughout history, his family is recognized as Ashraf or descendants of the Prophet Muhammad, and hence their assumptions of the honorific title Sharif. The story life of Sharif Yusuf al-Hindi further went on and told that he was with his father in Wara at an early of age. So Nuwara, by the way, it is a village that included the largest and last Quranic school founded by Sharif Muhammad al-Amin al-Hindi. And there Sharif Yusuf had stayed with his father for 7 years. During this time, during his presence with his father, Sharif Muhammad al-Amin, Sharif Yusuf had studied and memorized parts of the Holy Quran under his father's guidance. When his father left for Rahad in Western Sudan, Sharif al-Hindi returned to his family in Sharif Yaqub village. However, they later migrated from there, and from Sharif Yaqub he migrated to settle in Tanagla, a nearby village. He later traveled to Durman after being summoned by Imam al-Mahdi, and they met in Abu Sa'id, where al-Mahdi warmly welcomed him following the martyrdom of his brother Sharif Ali. The Mahdi's successor appointed him as the Mir of Ashraf at the age of 20. During his leadership, he led a campaign against the Italians in Tokar before returning to Umdurman and then to Sharif Yaqub village. The establishment of his Sufi center. The story of the establishment of Sharif Yusuf al-Hindi Sufi center was back to the incident which told that in the year 1905, the ruling authorities at that time accused Sharif of forming a religious movement preparing for jihad and resisting British rule in Sudan. As a result, The government arrested him in the village of Al-Rabwa, south of Barakat, and brought him to Khartoum after putting him on trial in Madani. He was then imprisoned in the central prison Kobar for more than 6 months. When large numbers of his followers and supporters began visiting him and gathered around him, the British government was forced to release him, replacing his imprisonment with house arrest in a nearby area within Khartoum province. He was given the right to choose his new place of residence, and he selected Puri al-Lamab area. However, Sharif went into devotion and dhikr for long periods of time and then began on the establishment of his religious tariqa, which had taken his name Al-Hindiyya tariqa. It has its own asas or fundamental of remembrances, awrat, litanies, prophetic eulogies, mawalid, prophet, birthday books, in addition to seerah and fiqh, jurisprudence. The establishment of his Sufi tariqa. Sharif Yusuf did not neglect the path of his ancestors in kindling the fire of the Quran. He established numerous of Quranic schools, Khalawi, across different parts of the country, and went further by appointed scholars and teachers to teach Muslims children the religious sciences. Then he began spreading the principles of his Muhammadan path, which he precisely described in blue lines when he said, وطريقتي نبوية وشموسها لا تأفل ما غاب عنها كوكب إلا بدا متهلل. My Sufi tariqa is prophetic one, and its sons never set. Whenever a star disappears, another rises, shining. The errors that certain researchers made, namely the assertion that the Hindiyya tariqa descended from the Samaniya, need to be addressed. The first of this was made in 1963 article by Khartoum University lecturer Ariel Parsley. Some other Sudanese researchers, including Sharafuddin Abdul Salam, stated that the Hindiyya were a branch of the Samaniya in his published thesis 1983. Based on this false assumption, the unarguable fact is that the prophetic Hindiyya tariqa of the few turuq in the Sudan, which has no outside roots, for Sharif Yusuf al-Hindi is the soul and the only founder of the tariqa, in which he traces the legacy of our master, the messenger of Allah, or Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessing be upon him. So what it should be stressed here is that the Hindiyya is the only Sudanese Sufi tariqa that has been established by a Sudanese, and it has no outside sanad. And here also I would like to say that the founder of the tariqa, as he had composed poems showing and pointing to the strong connection of the tariqa with the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessing upon him, is so dominant in his poetry. And here was, once again, I would like to say that the Hindiyya is a prophetic tariqa. By this I'm referring to the fact that it is a prophetic tariqa in which It's sent directly back to the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessing be upon him. Buri is the center of the spiritual power of the Hindiyya Tariqa. But in fact, the lovers, the murids of the Tariqa, do not confine to Khartoum only. They spread in different parts of the Sudan, mainly in Jazeera, Butana, parts of Rahat in Kordofan. To the Khulafa of Hindiyya Tariqa in these mentioned places, being selected on istiqama, straightforwardness, they, the Khulafa, required to be abiding by the observation of the congregation prayer, calling to the good and prohibiting the vice. So the Hindiyya Tariqa is a centralized Tariqa with its main office in Buri, while the Tariqa is represented by Khulafas that used to be authorized as Khulafa in the Tariqa in different parts of Sudan. They are representative of the Tariqa, leading the Askar and leading the Awrad of the Tariqa, in addition to their supervision to the activities that used to be done and performed by the devotees or the adherents of the Hindiyya Sufi order. Like all other Sufi orders, the Hindiyya Tariqa calls for the Prophet love, following the orders and avoiding the prohibits. Furthermore, it urges for a lawful gains, asceticism in dunya, and behaving the soul and promoting the conduct. The Tariqa has its own askar, remembrances, awrad, litanies, madaih that composed by the founder Sharif Yusuf al-Hindi, and it has its own mawalid books, which have been derived from the book of the Prophet Sunnah. The Salik of the Hindiyya Tariqa must abide by the Tariqa Awrad after to every obligatory prayer. These askars are the paces known as the Subhaniyya, found in the formula Subhanallah, Alhamdulillah, La ilaha illallah, Wallahu Akbar, wa la hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. Furthermore, the adherents of the followers of the Tariqa are required to recite the Grand Mawlid or the Grand Ratib, as well as the minor or minor Ratib. Sufi doctrine. The renowned journalist Yahya al-Awad states in his book أصحاب الوقت أشراف السودان رجالات ومغامات, states that Sharif Yusuf al-Hindi was keen on a unique method of raising his children based on asceticism, austerity, zuhud, humility, and raising above tribal matters, while at the same time ensuring a high level of education and remarkable eloquence. His palace in Buri was open to visitors, but his family and his children lived in mud brick houses, like most residents of Buri. This also applied to the homes of his daughters and son, Sharif al-Hassan, the late Sharif Abdul Rahman, and the current Khalifa, Sharif al-Siddiq. The late Sharif Hussein and his brother, the late Sharif Zain al-Abidin, lived in a mud brick house consisting of 2 rooms. The room where they lived with their mother and sister still stands today, despite their father being one of Sudan's wealthiest and most prominent leaders. So, the founder Sufi doctrine, by the way, is the Tariqa Hindiyya Sufi doctrine on the other side. So the doctrine of the Hindiyya Tariqa is based on the Holy Quran and the Prophetic Sunnah. Its founder, Sharif Yusuf, is very concerned of abiding with Sharia as well as the true spirit of Tasawwuf. The Hindiyya attitude was closer to that of the ulama than to the local fiqhis or Sufi philosopher. This de-emphasis on exact elements was already seen in the tariqah of the style formed by Ahmad ibn Idris. So this is just a view from Professor John Vall in his study that is devoted to the history of Khatmiyya in Sudan. By the way, Professor Vall here emphasizes the fact that Tariqa Hindiyya is a scholar-oriented tariqa, shun away with the dervish-oriented dominant trend in Sudanese Tasawwuf, shun away with the patchwork, and in other words, it is an urban establishment city in its very essence, focusing on abiding with Sharia, following the prophetic Sunnah and the teachings of the Holy Quran. It is the tariqa that focuses greatly on the acquisition of knowledge and abiding with the science of Sharia and the principle of the authentic and true teachings of the Islamic religion. And the call for abiding with Sharia, following the prophetic Sunnah, the teaching of the Quran, is so clear, pronounced in the form of poetry that have been composed by the founder himself. So in his poems, he always encouraged and incite his adherents and followers to follow the Sharia and to avoid what led to the violation of the very same rules of the Prophet Muhammad teachings. Sharif Yusuf authoring books. What it should be stressed here and pointed out from early of the beginning is that the tariqa is a scholarly oriented tariqa, while the basic and fundamentals of the very same Sufi order, I'm referring here to Hindiyya tariqa, is that its founder, Sharif Yusuf al-Hindi, is known as prolific writer. He is a prominent scholar from a side and at the same time a spiritual guide from another side. So throughout his life, by the way, he has left great legacy of authoring books. The rich and valuable literary production that bears witness to the greatness and perfection of Sharif Yusuf al-Hindi knowledge is evidence and stands as a proof showing that the tariqa itself is based on knowledge and science. Sharif Yusuf was primarily concerned with writing and authoring the history and tradition of its own narrators. And in this regard, I would like here to point out to the fact that he has different types of writing. In other words, he has written he writes in Sudanese history. Furthermore, he writes in Tasawwuf, and he writes on prophetic madih and the excellent manners of the Prophet Muhammad, peace upon him. He has written book on the birthday of the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessing upon him. Long after his passing away, three poetry collections were published. Al-Shamail, Al-Nur al-Barraq, Riyad al-Madih. that is during 1980s. And of his other works, he authored around 20 books, 10 of which were published mostly on biography, prophetic seerah, prophetic praise poetry, madih, Islamic jurisprudence, devotion, and the litanies of the Sufi order. I am referring here to Hindiyya Sufi order. The remaining 10 are in manuscript forms, including أساس الطريقة, the foundation of the Hindiyya طريقة, أوراد الطريقة, the litanies of the path, المدايح النبوية, prophetic praise poetry, المولد الكبير, the grand مولد, تصوف نشأته وتطوره في السودان, Sufism, its origins and development in Sudan, تاج الزمان في تاريخ السودان, and this is, by the way, is targeting, devoting to the history of the country, his social contributions. Sharif Yusuf Al-Hindi has established many villages on Dindar and Rahad River, Jazeera, Blue Nile, west of Sudan and central Sudan. He has dug several water wells for the settlement of Arab nomads. People from all directions are gathered around him, and he continued establishing villages for them, such as Al-Hurayz, Nuruddin, Wad Ajabna, Shadaida, Al-Uqda, Al-Rabwa, Al-Kuwait, most of which were located along the Rahad River, along with other settlements that were built on the lands and estates he had purchased. He encouraged people to cultivate the land and settle there instead of leading a nomadic and constantly migrating lifestyle. In the village of Al-Hurayz, he authored some of his most renowned religious works, including mawalids and praises, prophetic madih, which are included in this collection, as well as the book of An-Nasiha on religious matters. He also composed various daily litanies, rawatib invocations, and writings on the prophetic biography. So this is just a part pointed to the social roles that have been played by Sharif Yusuf Al-Hindi. And here just I would like to emphasize the fact that Sufis throughout Sudanese history, to their credit, backed the establishment of many villages and cities. Another contribution that led by Sharif Yusuf Al-Hindi is on the national level. So Sharif Yusuf had devoted his time, money and pen since the early days of the national struggle. And the national struggle here, by the way, he lived during the Condaminian rule. And by the way, he has great efforts that had led in the way leading to the independence of the country in 1956. So in order to establish the renowned club of the graduates, he had given the graduates a gift of his own private home in Umdurman. He had also contributed a substantial sum of money towards the club construction to support this action. In addition, he wrote numerous pieces with his pen and helped found the Hadarat al-Sudan Journal. So to his credit also is the foundation and the establishment of Hadarat al-Sudan Journal. Sharif Yusuf Al-Hindi was one of the three religious leaders alongside Sayyid Ali al-Marqani and Sayyid Abdul Rahman al-Mahdi, who personally established centers for Islamic preaching and guidance within Sudanese society. Their influence continues throughout or through their successors and students who carried on their teachings. They also played a significant role in raising public awareness, educating and guiding the people, whether through religious and cultural writings or even by contributing to newspapers of their time. Notably, they founded the newspaper Hadarat al-Sudan, where Sharif Yusuf repeatedly announced his book Taj al-Zaman on it. He also called upon the people of Sudan to support the book by providing historical material to enrich its content. In addition, he had established a lot of halawis in different parts of Sudan for the memorization of the Holy Quran, the study of fiqh and hadith. So here just I would like to sum up and say that Sharif Yusuf al-Hindi had played great role, significant and strong participation, having a strong participation in Sudanese politics from one side, religious field from another side, and spiritual guidance from another side. He had made the Hajj via Egypt in 1897 before the arrival of the English rulers, and afterwards, or the British rulers, and afterwards made a visit to Al-Madinah al-Munawwara, where the key to the prophetic mosque had been given to him for 19 days. He visited furthermore Quds, and he, for the second time, performed Hajj in 1924. His students. During his lifetime, Sharif Yusuf al-Hindi had authorized many prominent students as khulafa in Hindiyya Sufi order. And just here to mention parts of them, we say Khalifa Abdul Razik. Khalifa Abdul Razik, by the way, considered one of the earliest praise singers of the Tariqa, and Khalifa Ahmad Wad Isa Abdul Mubarak, and his Khalifate was in written form. He has been given Ijaza as a Khalifa in written form by Sharif Yusuf al-Hindi personally, and then we have Khalifa al-Qurashi al-Fakr Osman. Furthermore, we have Khalifa Abd al-Dafi, Khalifa Muqtar al-Turabi, Khalifa Ahmad al-Badawi. Khalifa Ahmad al-Badawi from Bawadra. He is the first Khalifa for Sharif Yusuf al-Hindi in Butana area. And then we have Khalifa Ahmad Wad Alim, Khalifa Ahmad Wad al-Fidil. Al-Faqih al-Tayyib Wad Izari also has been authorized as Khalifa in Hindiyya Tariqa. Al-Haj Adam Muhammad Allah has been also had been appointed as Khalifa of the Tariqa in Rabwa. Khalifa Mustafa Wad Taha in Malulaha. Khalifa Ali Hamid, Khalifa Khidir Abd Jabbar, Khalifa Wad Abu Sulaim, and Khalifa Sharif al-Qurgani. So this is just one of the notable prominent Hindiyya Sufi order students of my master Sharif Yusuf al-Hindi, and had been given Ijaza as khulafa and representative of the Tariqa, each one on his own respected area. While during the Caliphate of Sharif Abd Rahman, the son of Sharif Yusuf al-Hindi, who considers the first Khalifa of Sharif Yusuf, also many notable students also have been authorized as Khulafa in the Hindiyya Sufi order, and just here I would like mention parts of them. Khalifa Qasm al-Sid, Khalifa Ali Wad Masa'ad, Khalifa Abd Rahman, Khalifa al-Mahdi from Aprish, Khalifa Osman Aisha, Khalifa Hamid, Ali Hamid, and then we have Khalifa Ibrahim Dubartallah. Furthermore, during the Caliphate of Sharif al-Siddiq, the second Khalifa of the Tariqa, also many students have been authorized as Khulafa in Tariqa Hindiyya, and during the lifetime of Sharif Ahmad also, the process of guidance, spiritual guidance, continue under his blessed Caliphate, Khulafa of the Center. Following the pass away of the founder, Sharif Yusuf al-Hindi, in 1942, His son, by the way, came to assume as Khulafa of the center. And here, just I would like to start with Sharif Abdurrahman. Sharif Abdurrahman Sharif Yusuf al-Hindi, considered the first Khalifa of the center, followed by Sharif Ibrahim and then Sharif al-Siddiq. And by the way, Sharif al-Siddiq has spent more than 40 years as a Khalifa of the Hindiyya Sufi order in Burri. And finally, here the Khalifa, the current in charge of the affairs of the Tariqa is Sharif Ahmed ibn Sharif al-Siddiq, 2025. However, throughout their caliphate, the Tariqa continue its activities and continue its contribution to the Sudanese society in terms of spiritual guidance, social contribution, religious contribution. So still the Tariqa acting its and taking its responsibility as a major element of Sudanese Tasawwuf and Sudanese Islam, playing its magnificent and significant role among the Sudanese. The legacy. The life of Sharif Yusuf al-Hindi spans 73 years, filled with significant events, remarkable deeds, and grand success and stances. Many have written about him, including early writers such as Arafat Muhammad Abdullah, Yusuf Mustafa Tinay, and the historian Muhammad Abdurrahim, as well as poets like Abdullah al-Banna, and among contemporary writers, figures such as Hassan Najila and the poet Muhammad al-Mahdi al-Mayzoub have also documented his legacy. Three noble and esteemed figures among the Hindi family. Throughout the history of the Hindiyya Sufi order in general and Hindi family in particular, three notable and prominent and esteemed figures have emerged. Starting from the grandfather, Sharif Muhammad al-Amin Yusuf al-Hindi, Sharif Muhammad al-Amin Yusuf al-Hindi, in addition to his son, Sharif Yusuf al-Hindi, followed by his grandson, Sharif Hussain. The three, by the way, have left behind a valuable legacy and a vast Islamic heritage. Their contributions took different forms. If you have taken the first personality, Sharif Muhammad al-Amin al-Hindi, we found his legacy is represented in the establishment of many Quranic schools spreading throughout different times of the Sudanese history and in different places of the country. For him, the credit of the dissemination of the Quranic schools, in addition to the mastery of Tajweed, the science of Tajweed, as well as his contribution in the teaching of the Islamic jurisprudence and the Holy Quran. The second important and significant figure among the Hindi family is Sharif Yusuf al-Hindi. And by the way, to Sharif Yusuf al-Hindi, the credit of foundation of a modern tariqa that had played magnificent role in the spread of Islam from a side and Tasawwuf from another side. So the spiritual guidance and the journey, the long journey of returning to Allah had been done through the efforts that have been played by Sharif Yusuf al-Hindi following his establishment of his school. I'm referring here to Hindiyya Prophetic Tariqa. And his contribution further is there in his great amount of literary and scientific protection. That is because, as we have taken shortly, Sharif Yusuf is a writer, prolific writer, has provided the Islamic and Tasawwuf library with precious authoring that range from prophetic madih to tasawwuf and to Sudanese history. The third figure that the family of Sharif Muhammad Amin had provided the Sudanese with is the great and noble figure Sharif Hussein Yusuf al-Hindi. So Sharif Hussein is the most renowned due to his political and contemporary influence, develop a national and pan-Arab political path evident in his party ideology, system and achievements. He is a national figure. By the way, he is one of the most well-known Sudanese figure to assume the Ministry of Finance. A decent and honest figure that had played great role in Sudanese politics, and his practicing of politics resembled the nature of his growing up, for he belonged to a decent, honorable family. So he practiced politics based on the legacy and the tradition of his noble family. The three bequeath this rich and multifaceted heritage not only to their families and relatives, but more importantly to their people and the wider Arab and Islamic nations, as a model to follow and a source of pride and honor. Each in his own way made significant contributions to public service, whether through direct action or through the profound intellectual and literary works they left behind in the realms of religion and politics, both national and pan-Arab. Their legacy also encompasses a wealth of knowledge, culture, and history, serving as an enduring source of wisdom and inspiration. The three esteemed noble figures, the son, the father, and the grandfather, along with those who accompanied to surrounded them, including their successors, disciples, followers, family members, and relatives, as well as all who belonged to the extended Al-Hindi family by lineage or marriage, were always deeply connected to the people. They were present in every era and place. They were present in every era, area and place, in every home, in every gathering, and every valley. They remained distant from partisan and personal conflicts, as well as from disputes and petty grievances, as we have mentioned. The three were simple, but never insignificant. They were close to all the people of Sudan, across their beloved nation, never estranged from them. As a result, these three distinguished figures in particular became like exquisite poem, continuously recited across generations, embodying noble and mutually human emotions and sentiments within the grandeur of Sudan, its pride, its honor, its faith, and its righteousness. However, in addition to his writing books, which included both poetry and prose, Sharif Yusuf al-Hindi is credited with leaving behind a great and enduring legacy that included spiritual guidance for the thousands of murids who had taken the Sufi pledge under him and under his khulafa after him, scattered throughout the nation. Sharif Yusuf al-Hindi has passed away in 1942 and spent 73 years of his life performing great actions and deeds for Islam and humanity. His shrine is vivid and visited in Burri, the center of his own masjid. On his passing away, he came to be succeeded by his righteous son Sharif Abdurrahman, while the Khalifa of the Hindiyya Sufi order now 225 is Sharif Ahmad Sharif Siddiq Sharif Yusuf al-Hindi. Such were glimpses of the history and parts of the contributions that have been led by Sharif Yusuf al-Hindi and his successor after him, in addition to his khulafa scattered around the different parts of Sudan. So by the end of this episode, I would like to point out that in another episode, the poetry of Sharif Yusuf al-Hindi will be taken into consideration. That is because he considered one of the earliest poets who follow on the footsteps of the school of Neo-Sufi movement. That school which he distinguished with composing poetry on praise of the Prophet Muhammad, describing him as a light following the path of Tariqa Muhammadiyya. So this is just the words I would like and I intend to share you throughout this episode.
وكذاك المسلمين دائما ما ناح الحمام صليت والسلام لهادي الكرام دائما ما ناح الحمام. وكذاك المسلمين دائما ما ناح الحمام.